In this video, I wanted to show you my painting process when it comes to variegated leaves. So this is a coleus plant, and the first thing I do is to apply a wash, so a very light wash, just to map out the areas. In this case, you have 3 different colors, so I do a wash to map out where the colors are. Always start with a very light wash, and then right now I'm just applying a second wash, still quite light, to strengthen the color, but I do this gradually, so don't start with a dark color straight away. Just apply many layers, but with light washes. Right now I'm not really worrying too much about shadows and form. I'm just strengthening the colors, so the green, the purple, and the dark color. I'm working with Winsor & Newton miniature brushes because I quite like how they are quite small and they hold a lot of water, so I work with a wet on dry technique mostly, and these brushes are quite good for this technique. So with the green color I'm doing the same thing, just strengthening the color, but I'm not worrying about shadows yet. And the same thing applies to the dark color, so I'm making it darker because this is quite a dark color itself. These colors will become quite a bit darker, but as you can see, I always work with like many layers, light layers, so even if you make a mistake, it's easy to correct when you work with light color, light washes. And in here I'm just applying the details on the leaf. And now I'm going to start defining the veins, so the secondary veins. And the way I do it is I apply the color along the vein, and then I'll do a transition with a damp brush. So I apply the paint with one brush and then transition it with a damp brush. I find this way of working quite easy to control instead of the wet on wet technique. And again, I will go over this more than once, just strengthening the shadows a little at a time. And because this is a variegated leaf, I need to do the same work with different colors. So now I'm doing the shadow in the veins where it goes through the darkest color. And then the same thing needs to be done with the green. So change the color and then apply the shadow for the veins with the green. And in here I'm just basically strengthening a bit more the uh, the shadow next to the veins, and I'm making the veins more visible. And at the same time, I'm just making the darker areas of the leaf a bit more defined. As you can see, the veins in this leaf are not completely straight. So one mistake that beginner watercolor artists do is to paint the veins very straight, and it looks like a fishbone if it's too straight. Just observe the leaf very well, and you will see that they're never really completely straight, even if they look straight. So again, strengthening a bit more the darker areas, and I'm trying to convey the light and shadow, so it would be darker near the vein, and then it becomes lighter. The picture that I have next to me shows different colors because when you print something, the printer will inevitably make the colors different. So I am following, so for the shapes and the colors, I'm following my notes that I took with a live specimen, and then just to see where the darker areas are, where the shadows are, I have a look at the picture. But the picture is just for me to check where those shadows are. The colors, I always take detailed notes when I have the live specimen, because otherwise you would have colors that are not matching the live plant, the real plant. And here I'm just strengthening the shadows on the side, on the perimeter. And there's my cat. She wants to learn how to paint as well. She always tries to sit on my lap when I'm painting, which is not ideal for me, but she loves it. So here I'm just applying very, very little water just to make the paper slightly wet, not completely wet. So, and it shouldn't be completely dry either, so the paint flows a little bit better. But I'm not really doing the wetting wet technique. The paper is more or less damp, I would say, slightly damp. This makes the paint flow a little bit, but not as much as when you have completely wet paper. So this is the progress so far, and I will post other videos with the next steps, because I still need to go over the darker area a bit more, and I need to apply the details. If you like this video and you would like to see how the work progresses, please subscribe to the channel, and you will be notified when I post a new video. Thanks for watching.